Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network. Proudly presented tonight by SimSpeed TV. We are here bringing you the Aussie Driver Search iRacing V8 Supercars official series here tonight for round 7 at Donington Park Racing Circuit in the flowing hills of England, as the sun is just starting to set around 6 p.m. on the server time this evening. So it's going to be a cool track, and it's going to be a very fast race this evening. We've seen a lot of races this season exceeding 60 minutes or coming close to that mark. This evening we're in for a short sprint race, no pit stops, and just pedal to the metal for around half an hour here this evening. Joining me in the booth is Cameron Dance, and as always, pushing the buttons behind the scenes and bringing you the lovely pictures that we'll be seeing this evening is Jay Kennedy. So we just have some track stats up on screen for you at the moment. But Cam, it's going to be a really interesting race tonight. We saw some good racing from the boys in the AOSC Championship on Friday evening, and it shows us that we're in good stead for some good racing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really, really good night of racing, as we saw on Friday night in the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Was plenty going on, battles all through the field, and just really, really close racing in general. So it'll be interesting to see how tonight goes, with it being a little bit of a shorter race than what AOSC was. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be no pit stop. Yes, no fuel restrictions. So going to be a full-on sprint race to the end. So guys will have to look after their tyres a little bit better, and with the way the weather conditions are at the moment, it should do them a little bit of good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just noticing a little bit of strategy already being played out in the qualifying session so far. Majority of the drivers have set a lap at the moment. Currently, Ethan Grigault and Cooper Webster from Evolution Racing Team leading the way in those Holden Commodores of theirs. But Ethan Warren, Wayne Burke, Sam Blacklock, all drivers who have elected to start later in this qualifying session. Now, it is later in the evening and the track temperature is more likely to drop than rise. So maybe those guys just trying to pull out every thousandth of a second they can in these conditions at the moment. So we just see Sam Blacklock coming over the line now. And I think that's actually Luke Harvey in that number.
No,
that is Blacklock. It is Blacklock. Interesting. Very nice. So, Blacklock goes into position number 6 with that lap time there. So still a little bit of work to do for him to get up the point in the field. Of course, Sam now a 2-time champion after bringing home the championship last season. And running as a privateer for the time being. Be interesting to see where he ends up in the future. A very talented V8 supercar driver, and any team would be extremely lucky to have him. And as I said, a 2-time champion to boot as well. He's got a little bit of work to do though on this second lap, and generally we see with these V8 supercars the second lap isn't quite as fast as we just watched now. Ethan Warren coming across the line in his All-Star Motorsports machine, and only position number 12 for Ethan Warren, but giving his car number 23 in this field. Not a particularly bad effort, as Sam Blacklock does a little bit of pit entry practice there, dives into the pits. Wayne Burke, a man who put in a fantastic performance for a win last week out at Watkins Glen. What can he do in qualifying? Improved ever so slightly there, and got himself up to 7th position. So nice job from him, and certainly one to watch throughout this race, I'll be sure. Got 24 of these V8 supercars in our field this evening, and of course competing for the chance to get an entry into the Aussie Driver Search program. So everyone going to be hanging out on the absolute limit tonight to make sure that they are in contention for that prize at the end of the season. And a man who has already worked himself into that program, winning, I believe, the semi-pro comp or the amateur comp, Ethan Grigault. He's going to start from pole position this evening alongside his teammate in Cooper Webster for Evolution Racing Team. So nice lockout for the team there. Corey Preston is going to follow them up closely, as is Brett Cananzi for Eclipse Sim Sports. Jack Boyd and Sam Blacklock are going to start from row number 3 on the grid, and they'll be followed up by 2 very feisty contenders in Wayne Burke and Jackson Suslin Harlow. And then we'll have Brady Myers and James Mackey rounding out the top 10.
And 11th and 12th, just behind Myers and McKee, we have Chris Coxhead and Ethan Warren, Marlon McMullen and Kyle Stokes in 13th and 14th. 15th and 16th, Jake Maloney and Michael Cracknell. 17th, 18th, Guy Leach and Jacob Knight. And then running out the field is Riley Blythe. And name we haven't actually seen in a while, Tyson Williams.
Yeah, definitely haven't seen Tyson in here for a while. And we've also got Michael Taljancic, Marie Hushka, and Mario Vlasic, who are going to round out our 24-car field this evening. And that is a lot of horsepower sitting down on that grid in Donington. Would be great to see an actual V8 Supercar race at Donington Racing Circuit, but unfortunately something we probably never will, although thank you to the simulation on iRacing, we do have the pleasure of bringing you such a race this evening. And Ethan Grigol in the number 1 car in his Evolution Racing Team Commodore, staring down towards turn 1. It's a pretty short run here, but very important to get the car well off the line. And I'm sure that we'll see quite a few cars going side by side as they funnel down through the very tight, snaky section that is the first sector. But the revs are rising now, and we have the green flag. Ethan Grigol gets off to a fairly good start there. Brett Cananzi just behind did not. Got a very poor start. He's being attacked already by Jack Boyd down the inside there, as Corey Preston might have an opportunity to go down the inside of Cooper Webster into turn number 1. He's going to have to go it hard. Round the outside is Webster if he wants to hold on to that position. It's going to be very difficult for him to hold on to that. Corey Preston holding it round the outside, and Jack Boyd still fighting on the inside of Cananzi. They're getting side by side, but Cananzi with great traction around the outside there, going to hold the move. So we look back as Jack Boyd just gets a bit of a slide there, and he's maybe opening himself up to Blacklock, and I think that's Suzlin Harlow.
And at the moment.
Yes,
Myers, sorry.
Yeah, Brady Myers with a huge moment. He's going to get gobbled up by a couple more cars there as well. So very unfortunate there for Brady Myers. I think it was the TTL car up ahead was Jackson Suzlin Harlow there, who was getting involved with, I think, Boyd, who made a bit of a mistake, and Blacklock now also having a little bit of a look on Jackson Suzlin Harlow, as they're still going 2x2 just through the back of the field there, through the final chicane. And a little bit of a check up there on the exit. Riley Blythe has to take evasive action to the outside of the circuit, and got on for P number 2 down, Corey Preston and Cooper Webster. Corey Preston gone down the inside there in a great move. Cooper Webster will just tuck back in that ERT machine and have to pick another fight another time with Corey Preston. Just continuing on at the moment. Suzlin Harlow doing a good job to stay ahead of Blacklock, but a mostly clean start here, Cam, and you can really see these guys with this short race, so not afraid to take off the gloves early. Is I think that's Wayne Burke goes for a great move there on Sam Blacklock, so excellent overtaking opportunity by Blacklock there, and a little bit of a return serve from Blacklock, but you can see, Cam, these guys are getting pretty aggressive early on.
Yeah, absolutely. The gloves are definitely off, and we're only 2 laps into this race, so everybody's definitely fighting tooth and nail for these positions, and no one's holding anything back. Like we said earlier, no pit stops, so there's no real strategy coming into play here. It's just full-on sprint, and the only way you're going to pass guys is on the track and get it going up the inside or going around the outside, whichever way you choose to do it. So we're going to see some pretty bold moves, and it'll be interesting to see who ends up there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. A man who's already made a move so far, Corey Preston. A man making a move right now, though, is Ethan Warren, who's battling side by side with Brady Myers. Very close, the 2 cars, and Ethan just backing out there so he can get a nice run on the exit. That's a fantastic move. He's going to have to hold it around the outside here, but he might have the inside line for the next corner if he can brave it on the brakes. And it's a very difficult braking zone as well, and a very nice move there by Ethan Warren to get past Brady Myers, who is definitely a seasoned veteran and a fast man in these cars. So great job there from Ethan Warren there, and he's now got a little bit of a gap up to Sam Blacklock to recover, but looking very strong in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's on a charge at the moment, trying to gain up some positions. He did start down in the outside the top 10, so he's gained about 3 positions so far, so he's doing quite well for himself. But yeah, like you said, he's got quite a bit of a gap to Sam Blacklock ahead of him, a little bit slower on pace as well that last lap. But we'll see what happens as we've got a CPR car parts replay on that screen now.
Yeah, I think this is James Mackey having a bit of an issue there. Oh, just a little bit of a twitch under brakes and managed to catch himself on the grass, and unfortunately didn't manage to catch who that was. It could have possibly been, I'm not going to say because I'm not sure, but there was a car there that collected him very unfortunately there. So they'll continue, but Jackson Suslan-Harlow up in this front little train of cars here, which is being headed currently by Corey Preston, and kind of snakes all the way back to Blacklock here. Great overhead shot here as we see those cars coming down the back straight here at Donington. That little pack of 7 cars there currently headed by Corey Preston, and just falling ever so slightly away from the clutches of Ethan Grigol, who's carrying out a very professional first half of his stint here. And a little bit of a move, a little bit of a dive there from Cananzi, who wants to make his way further up this train, trying to shuffle Cooper Webster out of the way. And there's a little bit of a rub there. And Brett Cananzi applying a lot of pressure to the young man in that Evolution Racing Team car, but he's holding it strong. Jackson Suslan-Harlow having a bit of a dive there on Jack Boyd as they come through that right-hander there. And we're now getting a parts replay of Brady Myers and Chris Coxhead, who just came together on the exit there, just trying to continue around that corner, and unfortunately those guys getting tangled up and losing a little bit of time there. But Brett Cananzi did, or Jackson Suslan-Harlow did not quite get past Jack Boyd there. In fact, he's lost 2 spots.
Yeah, he actually had a bit of contact with Burke there, the corner prior up the hill, so really, really unfortunate. I think he just tuned in a little bit too early, as we've got a replay of it on screen thanks to CPR Car Parts. But yeah, really, really unfortunate for Jackson. He was doing quite well, but it was just because of the fact that he got bad run out of the old hairpin, and that was just it pretty much, he could only go backwards from here, so really, really unfortunate, and he had a bit of work to do to recover what he's lost.
Yeah, he actually got massively crossed up on the exit there and cut across the track. So very scary stuff there. Managing to keep it all on track and still in the top 10 at the moment. And got good pace in that TTL Esports car does Jackson Suslan-Harlow. So we'll see him recover hopefully. But this pack now with Jake Maloney at the head and Kyle Stokes fighting to try and get past him at the moment. You can see that.
With big issues.
Oh yeah, oh my goodness. Is this the case that he's pulled a gear too early, possibly Cooper Webster? We'll let you hear on board now, ladies and gentlemen, and just see exactly what happened there. And it does seem very strange there. He's definitely blown the engine there, but just trying to...
Really bizarre, actually.
He was just coming through that right-hander, and it just started smoking. Then nothing sounded out of the ordinary there. That's a very strange incident for Cooper Webster. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more information on what happened to him. Because that is a particularly odd occurrence. It almost looks like the car's had a random engine failure to some degree. So we'll have to see what occurred there. But for the time being, TTL Esports car there of Jake Maloney is heading this little pack of cars here. And he does seem to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle here. He's got quite a large gap, 4 seconds up to Ethan Warren ahead of him, and all these cars behind him, including Marlon McMullen, are really starting to look impatient as Mitchell McLeod, who started this race way further back in the field, started dead last actually, has had an incident. We're just going to see what's happened to him here. So
did it on his own to the final chicane.
Yeah, just getting a CPR Car Parts replay for you now. And touched the grass on the left-hand side. So that's the second time we've seen a driver do that this evening, and fairly, well, it's a light but substantial enough bump into the tyres there. And Cooper Webster has disconnected from this race, so it doesn't look like he's going to be looking to recover any of that effort from this evening, which is a great shame because he did a great job to get second position in qualifying and hold his own up at the front of the field there. Just having a look at Riley Blythe, who's following Guy Leach at the moment and looking very, very poor under traction there, using a lot of the turn in that car to drive it out. And Jack Boyd also coming under a lot of pressure at the front of the field, as we're watching now from Wayne Burke, who has moved himself through this field a little bit so far. Started 7th up to 5th and definitely in hot pursuit here for 4th position. And he'll be really worrying about that lead that Ethan Grigol is able to bring out at the moment, because we're pretty much already a third of the way into this race now, and a 3-second lead is starting to look like it's going to become unrecoverable for someone like Wayne Burke. He's only got a couple of cars to get past at the moment, and he's looking very strong here now on Jack Boyd, just really struggling to keep that car in the direction that he wants it to go without it just absolutely oversteering all over the place. He's desperate to get the power down and get past is Wayne Burke, a man with a keen eye to get past Jack Boyd. And it looks like he might be able to have a move here down into turn number 1. He's going to have to be very committed on the brakes. And Jack Boyd is going to give him some racing room there, and a little bit of a slide on the exit there for Boyd, but that's a job done for Wayne Burke. And he's now got Brett Cananzi up ahead of him, who he's looks like he's having a bit of trouble pulling that car up in corners. So Wayne Burke's starting to make a little bit of a charge here at the midpoint of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing his best to try and recover that lead that Grigol has, although probably at this point, like I said just before that, it's probably not going to be easy to recover. Although with the way that Cananzi has been using his tyres up and locking up into some of these corners, it's probably quite likely Burke will be able to catch up and pass him in no time. And then we have to deal with Preston, who seems to be actually doing quite well. Has a big moment there.
Yeah, he's really using a lot of that exit coming out of that long sweeping right-hander, which has a very blind apex, is very difficult to get right. And Wayne Burke just using every little bit of road and a little bit more to try and eke out as much performance of his one performance racing car. As we look back to Michael Taliancic in the Pursuit Sim Racing team car, he's under attack from James Mackey in the CMR team car there, and a car up ahead of him, I think that's Marie Hushka, just running a little bit wide on the apex into turn 1 there. She's got a great view looking back towards that little battle there for James Mackey and Michael Taliancic. And James had a unfortunate incident earlier in the race, missing some panel work to that car, but really making a little bit of a charge back through the pack now, try and recover a bit of positions. It's funny that CMR car still looks pretty good, even with the boot missing there. And he's looking very strong over the back of Michael Taliancic there. So we're just getting a replay of the overtake on Tyson Williams there.
On Cracknell, so reasonably actually quite pretty executive move. I mean, Tyson was well up the inside and there was a little bit of contact between himself and Cracknell, but Tyson was well up alongside by the time that happened, so not a bad move, a little bit of contact, but Robin's racing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a little bit late there, but not so much of a hit, and I'd say a fairly fair move there. Marie Hushka now really getting involved with Michael Taliancic and James Mackey here, and she's going to split the two of them as they come down into that deceptively difficult right-hander. I've got to say, that's one of my least favorite corners of all time. And those guys doing a good job to get through there without too much of a hassle with the difference in pace there. And Marie now in a little bit of a battle that didn't have to deal with before. And looking calm and collected for the time being, though. Just splitting those guys up a little bit, and that might give Taliancic a bit of breathing room here to eke out a little bit of a lead over James. Does look like he's got a few ponies under the bonnet of that Commodore there. As Wayne Burke now going around the sliding Brett Cananzi, going down the inside, I should say, and that's a nice job there from Wayne Burke. So Wayne's really been able to capitalize on getting good traction out of that final chicane, and just having the confidence on the brakes into turn number 1 there. We have seen Brett Cananzi fall off in the latest parts of stints due to just the way that he uses the rear tires on that car. Ethan Warren now putting massive pressure on Jackson Suslin-Harlow, and a bit of a slide there from both of them as they're coming off the exit of the corner, and Ethan now just starting to line this up, possibly clip the apex a little better there than Jackson Suslin-Harlow did, and he's got some nice traction now. It's going to be difficult to fire it down into the chicane. He's going to back out of it, and I suspect go for the epic exit launch and for a run into turn 1. And he's just had to back off a little bit on the entry in the mid corner there. I don't think he's quite going to have speed to execute anything in turn 1 there, and indeed he does not. Just trying to use a bit of that pit exit there to carry a little more speed into turn 1. Brett Cananzi has not let go of Wayne Burke though, not eager to give up that position just yet. But it will be interesting now to see if Wayne can start catching up to Corey Preston, who's only a second up the road, and not looking particularly comfortable compared to Ethan Grigalt, who's now extended that margin out the front to 5 seconds, as we just saw Wayne Burke and Brett Cananzi getting very close there, but also, oh my goodness, that's very tight there, as they are Chris Coxhead and Mario Vlasic are battling, and Tyson Williams, pardon me, having a bit of a battle there. And Michael Cracknell also involved in that battle, and those cars have traded positions on this lap as well. Just getting a replay now of Ethan Warren getting past Suslin-Harlow there, and he did so very nicely and very cleanly. Got a little bit of a poor run off the exit of that corner there, but looks like he was able to hold on to that position. He has come across the line ahead of Jackson this time around. So nice job there from Ethan Warren, and he's done a good job. In fact, he's one of the biggest movers in the top 10 at the moment. Up 5 positions, started at position number 12, so great run from him so far. As we now see Corey Preston in the hunting eyes of Wayne Burke and Brett Cananzi, who's still applying a bit of rear vision pressure to that OPR car of Wayne Burke, getting in the mirrors still quite substantially. So we're on board now with Brett Cananzi in that Eclipse Sim Sports car, and you can see him just pulling out to the middle of the track there, and just reminding both of them that there are a couple of cars here that wouldn't mind taking away second position if the opportunity arose itself. And Jack Boyd's also been doing a great job to just hang in the fight there as well. But Sam Blacklock is also managing to just hold on to this train, although he has just fallen off ever so marginally. And now it's Corey Preston, and oh my goodness, they're going to go 2x2 here, and we'll trust them to go nicely through here as well, and they both get the job done in terms of making it through the corner. Brett Cananzi going to look for an opportunity here to possibly go down the inside, but backs out of it nice and early. Corey Preston carrying a lot of mid-corner speed through that transition there, and that might open up something for Cananzi here. It's going to have a bit of a peak, dives back to the racing line to try and get a nice apex and get a good exit run. He's gotten a great run out of that corner. He might have a little bit of an attack here on Corey Preston. That'd be great for Wayne Burke, but he's going to probably pull back in. It's not a particularly good place to overtake, and Corey Preston has made a complete mockery of that chicane there, and he's going to suffer subsequently. He's going to have to be defending a challenge here for third position as Brett Cananzi dives to the outside of the track, comes back to the mid-track, try to carry the exit speed and down the hill here, but it's going to be pretty tough for him to do so. Corey Preston may just survive that mistake. Brett Cananzi though, staying in there, and Corey Preston, great car control. Great car control from Corey Preston to keep that all together. But unfortunately, it looks like he's going to lose a couple more positions, and Corey Preston's just going to get gobbled up. I fear he may have gotten a slowdown from having to take that maneuver across the grass there. So hopefully he's got that all cleared. We'll get a replay of that, because that was definitely worth it. Cananzi just giving us a little bit of net code there, so unfortunate, but great job there for Corey to pick it all up and make it to the apex of the next corner and not run Cananzi off the road, but it does look like he unfortunately was the one who suffered the short straw there. But he's had good pace in that car so far, and although he does have Ethan Warren, who's been charging through this field at the moment, looking very eager and very confident under brakes, and might even just give a little bit of a rub to the JSMR Falcon there as they exit turn 1. Ethan Warren showing that he does not want to be held up by Corey at all right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethan's on an absolute charge, and Jackson's not too far behind as well, as Warren's all over the back end of that JSMR Falcon at the moment. He's looking left, right, and everywhere. He's trying to get a move done, and Jackson is also as well. He's looking to make a move, not quite. He's just going to stay behind as they get a little bit of spin. And now Warren not going to make the move, although Jackson's looking up the inside of Warren, and is he going to get the run out of the corner? A little bit of touching, but is side by side as they come down the back straight. Is Jackson going to give the position up? He is, actually. He's just going to slot him behind and stay and try and get the exit out of the final chicane, probably. This Warren using plenty of curb, and now Corey and Ethan both sideways out of the final chicane, so that's going to leave the door open for Jackson. Try and make a move at turn 1. He's going to go to the outside as Warren's going to go defensive, but stays in behind to follow suit.
I think Ethan might have just gotten a bit excited there, seeing Corey Preston light up those tyres, and in anticipation of capitalising on his failure there, he's made a little mistake of his own and doing a good job to hold off Suslan Harlow there. Great little battle from these guys, but you can see Corey Preston definitely feeling the pressure, and Ethan Warren's definitely with some pace in that car at the moment, really looking for a way past. We've only got 7 laps to go in this race, which seems barely believable. It just has absolutely flown by. We've only got 22 minutes on the clock, and as we said, this one is a real quick one. Wayne Burke, unfortunately, I feel he's definitely out of contention for the win this evening, but has done a great job to make himself from 7th up to 2nd. And that was Ethan Warren just getting a little bit on the grass there. And once again, he just needs to make sure that he nails that exit there. He's going to have a little bit of a look. Manages to pull it up beforehand, and just applying plenty of pressure to Corey Preston now. This is starting to make them fall away from Sam Blacklock up ahead though. And that's going to hinder Ethan's progression any further in this race. So he really needs to get past Corey now. And also he probably wants a bit of a barrier between him and Suslan Harlow, because Suslan Harlow is looking fairly racy also. And this could be the opportunity that he needs, because Corey Preston, those rear tyres look absolutely done and running a little bit wide. In fact, Jackson Suslan Harlow was the man who got a really good entry there, but wasn't able to carry it on the exit. It looks like Ethan Warren is doing a bit of fuel saving. Seemed a bit slow down that straight there. So they don't have any fuel restrictions, but this is what we've been waiting for. Ethan Warren finally got the traction down nicely out of that chicane. It's going to have to be a move around the outside though, and he's taking a very wide entry that's going to get him some great exit speed and a fantastic move from the young Warren as he goes around the outside of Corey Preston into turn 1 at Donington, and that is a classic move and very well executed by Ethan Warren. So he's now got a couple of laps to try and claw back to Sam Blacklock. I fear though we might not have enough time in this race. He's showed great pace though, and he's obviously fired up, so we'll see if he can make something happen. Jackson Suslan Harlow now going down the inside very late on the brakes, and pretty much only just making the C-pillar there, and just edges himself ahead of Corey Preston. Corey going to go around the outside, and surely not, Corey, surely not. No. So he's going to get another slowdown from that for sure, and he's going to have to give up the position to Jake Maloney as well. Maybe he didn't get a slowdown. That'd be pretty lucky if he didn't, but he definitely lost momentum, and surely Maloney's not going to make 2 positions out of this, because he's now down the inside of his teammate as they come down through the S's. Not optimal for these guys at all, and Corey Preston is really going to be able to do something here. He's right there. They're going to have to do well to not lose another position for one of these cars here. But those TTL guys just making it work. And oh my goodness, Carl Stokes having a bit of a look down the inside of Corey Preston as well. So Corey Preston's become a bit of a moving target here.
Yeah, he actually has. Those rear tyres are looking pretty well used at this stage. Only a handful of laps to go, but it's going to make all the difference if Stokes has looked after his tyres more than Corey has. As Corey's had quite a few sideways moments and had quite a few offs from pushing so hard, trying to hold on to position. And Stokes with a huge moment out of the final chicane. They're getting really crossed up, but managing to just hold on to it there.
Yeah, but he's only got a couple of laps left to make anything work, so that's going to put a massive dent in his performance for this race. So you just see he just pinched that brake and missed the apex and took a little bit too much curb, just unsettled the car as he was trying to apply the power there, and just got a little bit crossed up. Kept it all together in the end though, and is continuing to press on. And Marlon McMullen has finally moved his way into the top 10. Hasn't been quite the race that it was for him last week out of Watkins Glen, putting on a great performance there. But slower progress to be made this evening for the two-time champion. Corey Preston still struggling, but still maintaining a position inside the top 10 for the time being. But he was running as high as second in this race this evening. So very poor second half of this stint. And that's something that we've seen quite a lot from Corey Preston, as we have other drivers, including the man on screen, Brett Cananzi, who's actually doing a great job at the moment. He's calmed himself down, has lost Wayne Burke off in the distance, but he's managed to keep ahead of Jack Boyd, who's been keeping Brett Cananzi very honest there in fourth position, pardon me. And Brett Cananzi holding on to that final spot of the podium for the time being. Just 2 laps to go now, and but we could see these guys unleash at any moment. And Sam Blacklock, was a little bit of a twitch there from Jack Boyd. So definitely not over, and Sam Blacklock just lurking in the background there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Blacklock currently the quickest out of those, out of Cananzi and Boyd at the moment. So he could possibly be on for a podium here if he can keep that sort of pace up compared to the two, as he's now actually just done the fastest lap on track at the moment. So this is going to be really interesting, as McLeod's actually off the circuit by pit entry. So something's happened there. He's actually had a moment out of the final chicane and just got a little bit too sideways, and did actually make the wall actually.
Yeah, it's been a night to forget for Mr. McLeod there. And I'm sure we'll see him out here with a little more pace in that talking car another day, but today not for him. And Jack Boyd has closed that gap up to Brett Cananzi, as has Sam Blacklock on up to Jack Boyd here. So it could all get very explosive very shortly. And oh my God, I just saw a puff of smoke. That's Cananzi. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so unfortunate. I'm not sure that that's the first time that we've seen that from Brett Cananzi either. As he was just coming through this very technical section, and you can often decide to use a different gear or pull a gear nice and early to try and get the turn in for that that kind of off-camber right-hander there. And unfortunately, it was a moment too soon for Brett Cananzi. So now the last lap is on the board, and Jack Boyd is going to have to put up a bit of a performance here to keep off Mr. Two-Time Sam Blacklock for the final spot on the podium now, because Brett Cananzi, with 1 lap to go, has thrown away a podium position in this race, and Sam Blacklock is the man that wants to hunt it down. A little bit of a lock up there from Jack Boyd just ahead, feeling the pressure. And Sam Blacklock has been hunting him down for a long time. He is not going to want to settle for second best, and he's looking very violent on the brakes and very fast through this section of the track, but he's only got a handful of corners to go. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Ethan Grigault is just coming into the final chicane now, and it has been a masterclass from the Egg. He has just absolutely taught everyone why he is the man that won in the Aussie driver search of 2018, and he has a nice care package to go racing next year. Oh my goodness, Blacklock trying to pull out everything at the end of the race there to get past Jack Boyd there. Wasn't able to do so though, and Corey Preston comes home just ahead of Marlon McMullen, but behind Jackson Suslan-Harlow, and spears off into the outside retaining wall. Marie Rushka going for a bit of a late move there on, I believe that was Tyson Williams.
And Williams is actually out of fuel.
Oh, so Marie Rushka gets through the last second, as does Michael Cracknell as well. Gets past Tyson Williams, and Jacob Knight just locking up across the line there. So a very eventful little race there. Some great 2x2 action and some good racing and some great displays of car control this evening from our 24 drivers. And Ethan Grigolt just absolutely teaching everyone out there how to win a sprint race, and that is to just get going from the very beginning and do not look back. He takes a very commanding win with a 9.8 second lead back to Wayne Burke, who did a great job to fight up from 7th into 2nd position this evening. Jack Boyd started 5th and took the final position on the podium with a little bit of attrition. 2 blown engines tonight got Jack Boyd onto the podium this evening, but I'm sure he will take it. A great result for him. Mr. Two-time Sam Blacklock coming home in 4th position, a great result. And Ethan Warren, one of the big charges through that race from 12th up into 5th. Great job from him. Jake Maloney, another driver who charged through the ranks, 15th up into 6th position. Great job from him. Jackson Suslan-Harlow had a fairly good race, came home in 7th position. Corey Preston dropped back through the field to 8th. Marlon McMullen came home 9th, and Kyle Stokes took home the top 10 position.
And just outside the top 10, we've got Brady Myers and Chris Coxhead, followed by Mario Vlasic and Riley Blythe in 13th and 14th. 15th and 16th to Michael Taliancic and Guy Leach. Maria Hushkra and Michael Cracknell in 17th and 18th. Tyson Williams in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is James McGee.
Yes, and then we had Jacob Knight, the last of our drivers to come home on the lead lap. Rick Nanzi, unfortunately, blowing an engine with just a lap and a half to go. Heartbreak there for him. Mitchell McLeod not having a great night, and Cooper Webster also blowing his motor, although a little earlier in the race. So we actually had a very good amount of drivers completing the race this evening. 21 of the 24 drivers there finishing on the lead lap, and all within 42 or 43 seconds of each other. So a great result for everyone. Do you think that you have what it takes to come race with us here on a Monday night? Don't be afraid to sign up on iRacing and come and join us and give it a go. You might make the top split and make the broadcast. And as you've all seen, there is some fantastic racing. There's more fantastic racing coming up on the iRacing Esports Network and on SimSpeed TV. On Wednesday night, we have the Rallycross, the Wednesday night Rallycross series. Always fantastic and a good, fun time to watch those rally cars punting around and going over jumps. And then we have the Alpine Star GT Racing Sprint Series Australia Championship. The GTE cars will be at Twin Ring Motegi for a 45-minute race, which is bound to be a fairly good one, I'm sure. Then on Thursday night, Cam, we have the F3 series, which has been putting on some absolutely fantastic shows the last couple of weeks especially.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be at Ulm Park. So a little bit of a tight track for the F3 cars, but nice British circuit. It's going to be really, really good. And then on Friday, we've got the Australian Online Supercar Championship from Daytona for the 650 Enduro round. And then next Monday for the official series, it's going to be at the Charlotte Ovals. So going to be interesting to see how that goes for official next week and the rest of the week as well.
Yes, absolutely. It will be very interesting to see how these cars line up on the Roval. Of course, some big curbs there, and these V8 supercars definitely not afraid to get up onto wheels. So it will be very exciting. But here on the SimSpeed TV network, we thank you very much for joining us this evening and on the iRacing Esports Network as well. Please do not forget to smash those subscribe buttons on both channels, and also liking the video, and if you want as well, sharing the video to all your friends and family if you think they'd enjoy it as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But from me, Zachary Hanlon, Cameron Dance, and Jake Kennedy flicking the buttons in the background, we thank you so much for joining us this evening for round 7 of Donington Park in the Aussie Driver Search iRacing V8 Supercars series. Congratulations to Ethan Griggold for the win. We will see you back here at the Charlotte Roval next week on Monday. And then till then, you'll stay well, and we'll see you soon.